Mexico City, a mega metropolis of 22 million people, home of the biggest bull ring in the world, the monumental Plaza de Toros. This is the beating heart of Mexico right here. Today, that heart pounds for a mega event, the opening of the 2015 Red Bull X Fighters World Tour. Troy Mannering here, and joining me with expert analysis and insight, Andy Bell.
Thanks, Troy. It's so great to be back in this classic venue here in Mexico City. The last 10 years have been witness to some epic battles right here. As always, the largest bull ring in the world presents some pretty unique challenges for these athletes tonight. And now we get going with our spectacular worldwide tour, Red Bull X Fighters.
And a worldwide tour it absolutely is. The 2015 Red Bull X Fighters will feature 5 stops at stellar locations around the world, starting right here in Mexico City. And a quick look in to the riders' paddock as these guys get ready for quarterfinal action. As I said, we'll start here in Mexico City, Mexico. Then we'll move on to Athens, Greece, a new stop on the tour on the 12th of June, followed by a classic in Madrid, Spain on the 10th of July. From there, we'll return to Pretoria, South Africa on the 12th of September. And finally, we'll crown a World Tour champion in the United Arab Emirates on October 30th.
We have 3 former Mexico winners here tonight that are competing. And guess what, Troy? Those 3 winners are also former tour champions. Let's go meet these 3 stars and check out who they are and what they're going to bring tonight.
There are 3 riders that stand out to me, and that's because they've all 3 been champions. Those 3 riders have not only won championships, but they've also won right here in Mexico City. Danny Torres is no stranger to this arena. He's won here before. He's got 7 Red Bull X Fighters wins under his belt and a World Tour championship. And let's face it, he's the crowd favorite. Tom Pages is the innovator. He's that guy that you don't know what to expect. In 2013, he came here. He not only won the event, he went on to win the championship. And now he has new tricks up his sleeve that he's already put viral on the internet. The alley-oop flare. Will the pressure get to him, or can he pull it here? I don't know. Levi Sherwood's coming in hot. He's won here in Mexico City 2 times. He's won the World Tour Championship, and he's really done everything without even touching a quarter pipe. The rumors have it that he has a big new trick for the quarter pipe. Let's see if he can deliver. Let's face it, those 3 guys are champions. They know how to get the job done. But what we have is 8 other world-class athletes ready to come after them and make their own legacy.
Well, in addition to those 3 riders, we also have 2 riders that are making a push for the podium. We were talking about Adam Jones a lot, and he's one of those guys that we really love to see on tour. Of course, Tom Pages, who we just saw in that feature, former World Tour champion, an innovative guy, and one of those guys that we really like to see bringing the sport to absolute new levels. We'll also be keeping a close eye on a couple of other guys. One of them is Clinton Moore, who, Remy Bizarre, as well as Clinton Moore, but Remy Bizarre, he got 6th place overall last year, and that's his best results on a Red Bull X Fighters World Tour ever.
And the 2nd place in Osaka, like you said.
Yeah, and he's really been bringing his game to a new level. He's got the California roll in his trick list as well. We have Clinton Moore, and this is his first start in Mexico City. So, you know, he's one of these guys that has a bunch of tricks that he can do. He uses the quarter pipe, he has a vault, he has the California roll, so he's definitely got the bag of tricks as well. So we'll be keeping a close eye on those 2 guys, or 3 guys especially.
Look at the crowd here, Troy. These guys are going crazy. This stadium is electric, 38,000 people filling the stands out here. So the keys to win tonight, navigate the tight track. This is the tightest track we will run across all year long. There's 2 tunnels that you have to go in and out of. Getting in and out is tough. Bring new tricks. Tom Pages, he is constantly bringing them, but so did Levi Sherwood. He is not going to lose out this year. And the third thing, adjust to the thin air. The air is so thin. We are at 7,500 feet.
2,240
meters for all you in metric, and that is high. It is tough to just walk up the stairs, never mind ride your motorcycle. Judges, we have 5 different categories that these judges are going to be looking at here tonight as they turn on the lights finally. Variety, execution, style, which is form and flow, use of course, and energy, which is energy, excitement, and entertainment. This is a very unique judging system here at Red Bull X Fighters, and you actually have to tick off each of these boxes if you want to win tonight. Jason Moriarty there, he's our head judge. He's going to be the guy looking over to make sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to and breaking the ties if something happens.
All right, well, there you go. It's a judged event, but one of the most fairly judged event because of our system. Nice, and that's always good. As we get ready for our quarterfinal action, it's about win or go home. It's head-to-head. Riders will go up against each other in a timed run. In this round, it will be 75 seconds, the quarterfinal 75 seconds. And as you mentioned, there are 5 categories that the judges are watching. You have to win 3 of those 5 categories to move on to the semifinal as we get ready for quarterfinal action. And once again, quarterfinals will feature our first heat coming up. Remy Bizarre going up against Danny Torres. Second heat will be Adam Jones and Thomas Pages. Javier Villegas, Clinton Moore in the third one, and Brody Wilson making it out of round 1, going up against the winner of the qualification round. Levi Sherwood will be our 4th heat in the quarterfinal. That is a big one.
The elation for Brody Wilson winning round number 1 did not last long because having to go up against Levi Sherwood is going to be tough for him. But look at this, Danny Torres, Remy Bizarre. Danny has more tour wins than anybody. We heard Ronnie Renner say that earlier. 7 wins. He's been on the tour forever.
Yeah.
He's the biggest tour veteran, and he's coming looking good. We keep hearing the rumors, we've said this now 2 years, that he has a quarter pipe in his bag of tricks.
Yeah.
Does he?
Does he really is the question.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I know he has it. He's done it to the foam a million times, but is he comfortable to risk it to dirt out here tonight?
And as we move on to the quarterfinal action, we should also point out that, yes, it is head-to-head. Yes, it is 75 seconds long. Yes, it is about winning 3 of the 5 categories. But now it's free reign for these guys. There's no more restrictions on what they can do out on course. Flip tricks, rotational tricks, variations, and varials are allowed. So this is where it's going to start to get interesting because these guys can really throw down when it comes to these next 3 rounds, quarterfinal, semifinal, and the final, of course.
Well, we're going to see Remy out on the course first.
Hey, I'm Remy Bizarre from France. Here we are in Mexico City with the loudest crowd in the world.
I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, this will be the first time that Remy Bizarre will go head-to-head with Danny Torres. I don't think they've actually had a battle before. Be interesting, nevertheless, to see how Remy Bizarre handles the pressure of going up against a former World Tour champion and a guy who has the crowd absolutely on his side. And he starts right away with a big Shaolin backflip, or as you like to call it, the starfish flip. Ha! Great start for Remy.
Remy, look at Saul, loops around, hits that super kicker. A, it's a great way to get back to the other side of the course. B, he's making sure he checks that box of use of course. So important. We saw Adam Jones get in trouble last year in Munich by not getting the use of course. And so he's making sure to tick that box. Flip seat grab Indian air from Remy. Remy got 5th last night in qualification. Pretty great run for him. He looked really comfortable and smooth out here on this really tight track.
Well, one thing I will say for Remy is he's cut his teeth riding and competing in these small arena events where they take a hockey rink and basically fill it with dirt. There's not a lot of space in there either. So this kind of a course is something that he's pretty used to.
Massive massive kiss of death backflip. And for everyone watching at home that may not be all that familiar, what he's doing there in the tunnel is flipping up those flip levers, which actually help him to lever the bike back underneath him when he's doing the big flip tricks. You'll see all the riders out here have them. It's just it's a help, I hear, because I don't use them. I'm only upside down if I'm crashing, Troy.
You're just seeing that he's in the tunnle there, and the horn's gone to end his time, but because he's in the tunnel, it is allowed. The minute those guys roll into the tunnel, if the horn sounds while they're on their way into the tunnel or in the tunnel, that last trick does count.
And
so,
it was a doozy,
it was
too.
A doozy.
Nice
it was a beautiful trick.
Cliffhanger. Really nice extension. We'll get to see it a little bit better here in slow motion. Things happen so fast these days that if you're not 100% paying attention, you can miss exactly what goes on. So,
and this is something that Remy is absolutely famous for. He started doing this a couple years ago. It's not exactly new, but his sponsors have been providing him with box loads of goggles because he chucks them out every single run. It's amazing. And also, just before we dig through this, I want you to look at the flexibility of this kid right here. Watch that. Wow.
Nice scorpion kiss of death. Really gets the legs over. You'll hear a couple different terms from us. Scorpion means bending the back, getting the legs out, almost back around to your head. Indian air, there you go. That's a holy grab Indian air. Gets a little bit of the scissor kick motion going on. And then there, the big look through. It would be a look back if he was doing it right side up, but all of a sudden it's a look through.
And that's that little extra kick, you know, that little extra nod of the head is just so
And then
cool.
check that out. He landed side saddle, and then there one more time. Backflip cliffhanger, really straightens out, extends at the hips. Really solid run. That was actually, I would say, better than his run that we saw last night that netted him 5th in the qualifiers.
Yeah.
So pretty impressive, showing off a little bit of bike skills there with the nose really down the landing. And now he put the pressure onto Danny Torres.
One thing I will say about Remy Bizarre is he's a very tactical type of rider. He knows exactly what the other athletes are doing out on course, and he knows what he's got to do in order to beat these guys.
Remy Torres, Spain. When the people in Mexico scream my name, it's amazing.
I was just mentioning how Remy Bizarre is a very tactical rider. He knows the line that Danny Torres has got. And it could be that he chose not to uncork that California roll in his run here because he knows that perhaps Danny isn't going to do any kind of varial trick or anything. But Danny's got some of the best regular tricks and flip combos in the business.
Starting off with a big lazy boy backflip right into the no-handed running man. And quickly now, we noticed last night, Danny was riding really quickly around this course. He looked really, really good.
Yeah, racing it a bit.
Yeah, good to see Danny back on the two-stroke as well. And McMets to cliffhanger.
Wow.
Big combo.
That's
right there.
Huge combo.
That is a lot going on in different directions. And so Danny mixing up. This is what the judges want to see, especially the variety judge. They want to see flip tricks. They want to see right side up tricks. They want to see tricks on the front of the bike, the back of the bike. They want to see rotational tricks. They want to see everything.
Oh, the double grab flip.
Massive double grab flip out of Danny as he floated a little bit sideways there off the takeoff, but
got a bit scary.
yeah,
actually.
I know, it's a little bit crazy, but we're seeing Danny pick nice lines. This guy's a 2011 World Tour champion, winningest guy on Red Bull X Fighters. There you're going to see the Paris Hilton flip. The difference between the Paris Hilton flip and the Shaolin flip is actually going up and down with his legs instead of just spread out in the splits. And this will count, as you said, that the horn went off as he's in the tunnel. And I think that's the executioner
Threw out
flip.
the executioner flip. Nice. That was a great run from Remy Bizarre, or excuse me, from Danny Torres against Remy Bizarre. Both of these guys had very, very solid runs. It's going to be a tough call for these judges. And like you said earlier, you know, glad to be up here instead of in the judging box.
Absolutely. And you know what I love is Danny Torres, Remy Bizarre, a lot of these guys are really kind of quiet dudes. They are not. And then you see them come alive. The showmanship really come alive when they get off the bike. The adrenaline's flowing. I mean, Remy and Danny are both guys that sit in the rider's lounge just quiet, keeping themselves, just chilling. And then they just turn into animals out there.
Well, they're shy guys.
Yeah.
You know, they're shy guys. But when, you know, like you say, they get out there and their party animal comes out.
You get any good shots out there, you want to just join in the conversation at Red Bull X Fighters or hashtag X Fighters, Instagram, Twitter. Hit up everybody and share what you guys have going on at home.
Get it out there on social media.
Yeah, there's that Paris Hilton flip from Danny. Just everything looked great. The judges really going to want to see the landings. There's that executioner flip. Both tires landing at the same time is what the judges are going to look for, especially the execution judge. Danny looking solid. Look at this little buddy. He's like, what are you doing, Dad? Who is this guy?
I think the little guy's just mesmerized by
Danny Torres.
That's Danny Torres right there.
He's not going to forget that one.
All right, let's see who's going to move on to the semifinal between these two fantastic athletes. Is it going to be Danny Torres or will it be Remy Bizarre?
This is tight. This is really, really tight. We didn't see anything too crazy as in new school tricks. No quarter pipe used by either of them out there, which is weird because Remy's got the quarter pipe.
Yeah.
And he's got the California roll too.
But so, like I said, he's a very tactical. He'll be looking at.
I don't think you can't chance holding anything back for the semifinals here in Red Bull X Fighters because everybody is so good these days. You can't hold it back.
It's a very long process here with our judging panel. It looks like they're talking about it. There's Toby Imler just looking over the shoulder of head judge Jason Moriarty. Toby is our energy, entertainment, and excitement judge, and you'll see he's got a set of handlebars up there, and he rates it based on you know, how he feels about the excitement that they're going. So here we go. This is how we're going to score it up.
We got some nice new graphics this year,
nice new graphics. So the first one goes to Danny Torres. He's got variety. That one belongs to Torres. Second one goes to Remy Bizarre for execution.
Torres doesn't usually lose execution,
no,
I have to say. He is a perfectionist. Whoa.
Remy Bizarre, he gets that second helmet for style.
Okay, wow, all right.
Use of course, this is an important one.
I mean, they were so even, I feel. This is a tough one to have a winner on.
Oh, 1 point difference, wow. It's come down to one decision here for the energy. That's Toby Imler's. Who's it going to go to? Is it going to be Danny Torres or Remy Bizarre? It's a super close decision.
Whoa!
85.7 to 85.6. Danny Torres moves on to yet another semifinal, eliminating Remy Bizarre from competition in rightly so, one of the closest heats we've seen in a long time.
Absolutely incredible. It was so tight, and my only guess is, remember how I said earlier that Danny was going so quickly between his jumps. He was getting in and out of the tunnels nice and quickly, smoothly. I'm gonna guess. I was not keeping track. Maybe you guys were at home, but I'm gonna guess that he got one extra jump is the only way that he got use of course, because they both used all the same jumps.
Yep.
They used all the same jumps. No one touched the quarter pipe, which to me is crazy. And we have 3 of them out there, and some guys are like living on the quarter pipe.
Yeah, some guys are making their living with the quarter pipe these days.
Speaking of quarter pipe, we're going to have a big battle right now of a quarter pipe lover and a guy that doesn't touch the quarter pipe.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for Adam Jones going up against Thomas Pages. That's our quarterfinal heat number 2. There's Jonesy on the left side of your screen from the USA versus the Frenchman, Thomas Pages. And I can hear the French commentary team next to us going crazy. It's Charles Pages, Thomas's brother, who's one of the commentators there for them.
What's up? I'm Adam Jones from the United States. Absolutely nothing makes me laugh.
You know what? I have to disagree with you, buddy.
Disagree. And Jonesy makes me laugh.
Yeah, what a great guy to have on tour. He's been on tour for so long, has done so well. He's won an event in Giza. He got 3rd last year at Pretoria, so he's been riding so great. Love to see it. And he starts off huge, absolutely butters the landing. Both tires touching down just past the knuckle. Double grab flip. That bodes well for Adam Jones when he starts off perfectly. It really gets him in the mood, in the groove to just keep slaughtering the tricks here. As that rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis is just outstanding.
The only guy in the competition world that we've ever seen do that trick. It's his own signature on the old dead body, straight up and down, heart attack style, through the bars. Wait till you see that thing in slow motion. Cliffhanger backflip, once again, really getting the bars hooked on the boots, not up by the knees, making it more difficult, straightening out the hips, straightening the legs,
And the judges
hands
are
over the
keeping a
head.
close eye on
The
that as
judges know exactly the position he's in, and that is absolute perfection. Lazy boy backflip coming back towards the box. Great extension. Head was about 6 or 8 inches away from the seat, so almost perfect. So far, Adam has an amazing run going here.
Well, this will be his 5th jump in the heat here. This will be his last one as he goes for the big turntable. Super lazy on that as well.
It's so great. I love seeing it just so nice and slow, styly. Turntable, holds his hands off. A shout out to our buddy Dave Turner who invented that. I don't even know when, back in probably 2002, 2001. So it's been around a long time. Nice to see some of the old school tricks still in here. And look at that, starting off massive.
And super
grab
flexible
flip.
by Jonesy as well, considering as he's such an old dude on tour.
Well, speaking of flexible, the rigor mortis right there. I mean, that is just so crazy. But his nickname is Gumby. There's a reason that it is that. He is a flexible dude. Looking so good on the cliffhanger flick. So the only thing that I could point out, if our job is to point something out here when it's not perfection, is that the lazy boy backflip, he was actually a little further away from being flat on the bike. But other than that, utter perfection. And it is so tough out there at this altitude. You're hitting the jumps completely different. You know, he's riding a 252 stroke. Bikes are down by about 20% in power.
Yep.
So it changes everything about the way you hit the jumps. You're carrying way more speed into the ramps. And it's so, instead of just going in slow and popping it with the throttle, you're carrying
steady.
an extra probably 5-7 miles an hour in, which changes everything about the way you ride.
Next rider up, Thomas Pages. And this should be an interesting run from Thomas. Let's see if he can nail it or he's going to suffer through it. We'll wish him luck. Still mentally preparing even up to the last second here for Thomas. It's so, and I mean, when you watch this run coming up, it is critical, and you'll understand why that mental preparation.
I'm mentally preparing for his run right now because this guy just has so many crazy innovative tricks, and he never stops innovating.
Pages, France. Pressure is the hardest feeling ever. It's hard to handle it.
Well, pressure is something that he seems to get a lot of, and sometimes he deals, and sometimes
he's usually on it, but you know, something I didn't know about him last night is he was extremely sick. He had the flu, he was sweating, feeling terrible. He said he could barely hold on.
This was only 2 days ago.
Yeah, and yesterday too, he said he could barely hold on to the motorcycle, and he still got third in qualifying.
Critical first jump here. Special flip. Oh yeah, it's perfect.
Nails it. He nails the special flip, and he's another guy like Adam Jones. If he nails that first trick perfectly, it spells bad news for his competition. So obviously he said he was feeling a little bit better today. Bolt to one-hander.
The pumps.
The fist pump. You know when he throws that fist pump in, he's feeling good. I think we're going to see one-handed heart attack. I thought we were going to see a 360 there, but that might be later in the run. Flips up the flip lever. And this bike being 35 pounds lighter. Oh, wait, he's turning around for the quarter pipe. Now we know he's got a new trick on the quarter pipe. But that, and he saves it. He saves it. It got a little bit ugly, but hey, he was trying to do a tsunami flare. 22 seconds left. He didn't get perfectly straightened out, but he did have his feet above his head, which makes it tsunami style. And there, 75 foot. Well, with how long he went, that's about a 90, 95 foot 360.
He's got to get himself in that tunnel quick, though. He's got seconds left.
Yeah,
this one will count. This one will count.
This is going to count. This bike just looks crazy fast with how light it is.
Yeah.
But still, he said he's really struggling hitting the jumps. Kiss of death to finish up. He told me earlier he's really struggling to do his tricks with how slow the bike is compared to normal. I mean, it's unbelievable. This house is melting down right now. And
people are on their feet, waving their flags in the air.
We can't see the live energy judge right now, but I promise you, unfortunately for Adam, he had to go up against Tom. And the house is going crazy right now. Everybody is on their feet.
And I will say that Pages had 1 extra jump in his run. I counted this time. Jonesy had 5, Pages had 6 as we take a look back at the slow-mo.
That's the special flip. So he's basically doing a backflip on the motorcycle while it's going straight. Look at that. He holds on, grabs on with his left hand, back with his right hand, comes right around. So crazy what's going on. And right here, body varial, the volt, plenty of time for a fist pump. And there he goes again. Does a full 360, just so quick and easy now. I mean, a few years ago, I remember Matto doing this, and it was just, I mean, it was just so groundbreaking to be doing it in a competition.
Yeah,
and
Robbie
now,
Madison was the first guy to do it in competition.
And here we got Tom Pages just throwing it out, and there we go. The tsunami flare.
With a dab.
Yeah, he had a dab, right? But, I mean, big amplitude, a little short on rotation. That's why he had to stab his foot down there a little bit. But, hey, can you really dock him any points for stabbing his foot? I mean, what a huge variation.
Well, if we're talking about a trials competition, then absolutely. But in this case, I think not. And with all the other stuff going on in that run, I don't think there's any doubt that Thomas is going to take this one over Jonesy.
Yeah, that's tough for Jones because Jones rode absolutely impeccably.
Let's take a look at the scores as they come in. Yeah, I mean, it looks like already Thomas has got 2. He only needs 1 more to take it. And yeah, he's got it with 3 helmets there. So Thomas Pages will go on to the semifinal, and he's 4 helmets in. Is Jonesy going to get anything on this one?
I think it's going to be a clean sweep.
He's going to be clean sweep here, and Jonesy gets blanked.
And that sucks for Jones because he rode as well as I've ever seen him ride out here. He rode perfectly, but Tom just threw everything and the kitchen sink in there. He just so many moves, so many new school moves, backed up by some really solid other tricks. I mean, he looked great.
The next battle should be quite interesting. Javier Villegas going up against Clinton Moore. These are 2 guys that I would say are fairly evenly matched as far as their trick lists are concerned and as far as their style are concerned. I'll give Clinton Moore the nod when it comes to flowy, smooth style, or I really like Clinton Moore's style, but I'm a big fan of Javier Villegas as well because I just love how energetic he is out there on course.
Well, Javier is such a great rider, absolutely, but what Clinton Moore is bringing to the table is he got 4th place last night qualifier without doing the body varial or his Bundy body varial, which is basically his own version of the electric death and a couple other of those weird body varial flippy tricks.
Weird body varial flippy tricks.
I mean, something I don't even understand. I don't even understand how they're able to pull these gymnastic moves. It's like combining pommel horse and the high bar in gymnastics.
All right, up next, Javier Villegas.
Javier Villegas, Chile. Right before clicking into the gear and go for it, it's the last time I ever hear the crowd. Then it's all white noise.
White noise is true.
Javier's had a rough year last year. He broke his femur at X Games, and then he came back. He was telling me that he smashed his face on someone's super kicker, and then he crashed again as he starts off here with a big kiss of death. So he had 3 pretty solid injuries last year, and he just said he was just.
It was one of those snake-bitten years for him.
Yeah, it was. He does a seat grab, Indian air flip off the super kicker, making sure to get the use of course. But he said he just took a couple months off and started riding in the hills with his kids instead of going to the moto track, instead of hitting ramps, and he just really started hitting hard about 6 weeks ago. And he said he's last night he started having fun for the first time on a motorcycle all year. So.
Yeah, and that bodes well for him. Just going back to your use of course comment there, and we've been talking about the use of course a lot. What we should also qualify that the use of course just isn't about only hitting the ramps. It's also about what you do off of the ramp. So, you know, a part of that is the trick that you do off of the ramp for the use of course, and that's very important. We should point that out.
Yeah, exactly, because sometimes guys will like one ramp over another, and they'll do no flip tricks off of one ramp, and the judges don't like to see that. They like to see your ability to adjust to the different ramps.
Plays a role in the variety as well.
Javier looking solid, Big Rock solid. He's got the big 450 going here, and 4 seconds left. This is going to be his last jump, I think. Indian air backflip off the super kicker. Javier looks stoked.
6 hits.
Well, he's right up there with where everybody else was except for Jones, so.
It was interesting too, because I was watching how Javier was riding, and it didn't seem like he was rushing. It almost seemed like he was just having a lackadaisical ride out there, but his tricks were super solid. Watch this first one out the bottom.
Yeah, very nice. Execution judge gonna love that. Absolutely perfect technique, straight up and down. And then comes around, gives even a little look over at the judges on the C-grab Indian. I think he got so many, nice Cordova flip, but I think he got so many jumps because he hit the super kicker 3 times. But still, it's line choice, and amount of jumps does matter. So Javier looking super solid out there.
We only saw him in the tunnel twice.
Yeah. Well, and that's why he got more jumps. So I think the judges are also going to be looking at that to know, okay, he did get 1 extra jump, but it was 3 times off the super kicker.
So that is Javier Villegas' run. He'll exit that landing ramp, head back down, and leave the course wide open for Clinton Moore, who is our next rider up in this heat number 3 in quarterfinal action. If you're just joining us, this is the Red Bull X Fighters World Tour Opener 2015 from Monumental Plaza de Toros in Mexico City, Mexico. And we are into quarterfinal action, and now we're going to see Clinton Moore.
Hey, Clinton Moore from Australia. When I did my first backflip, I broke both arms. That didn't stop me. I went ahead and still nailed it.
Well, that's what happens. That's a bad dude. That's what happens when you ride freestyle motocross. There's no crying in freestyle motocross. Now, Clinton has a little bit of a monkey to get off his back. He's kind of already gotten off. He crashed last year in training, knocked his head, got a concussion, messed up his finger, and here we go. Big flat spin, 540 off
Fantastic.
of the quarter pipe to start things off. Absolutely lands perfect. It ends up landing aimed at the tunnel, so he didn't even have to reposition. I love that line choice for Clinton. He starts off strong. Back flip, kiss of death, coming straight at the booth here for Clinton. And he is hauling.
He's on fire.
Yeah, he's looking really good right now. 360 for Clinton, absolutely smooth. Gets the bike over at a 45-degree angle, so that's not an off-axis backflip. That's a full-on 360. Looking good, and he's already about to take his 4th jump with 40 seconds left.
Yeah, he's got a lot of time left.
This is a great line. I love his line choice right now. Dead body backflip out of Clinton. That's a new addition to competition for him. Yeah, he got really, really straight on that one. Really great execution judge. Gonna love that. Difficulty is right at the top degree there.
Look how greasy that entry is. He had a gas on him. His back end was all over the place coming in.
And the vault.
Oh, the vault!
To one-hander, one-footer. I'm not sure if the one-footer was trying to get back on or if that was on purpose, but
Clinton Moore throwing down the vault.
Rock solid, and he could. Oh, I don't think he knew.
It, but he's got 6 jumps.
He could have got a 7th in there.
Had he gotten tunnel time,
yeah, that was a great run by Clinton.
He's matched the number of jumps to Javier Villegas, so the number of jumps isn't necessarily going to play a role here in this case. What's going to play a role is the fact that Javier Villegas had great extension, some really good tricks, but Clinton Moore had the new school stuff. And look at that rotation on the flare. I mean, it was more flat spin, you're right.
Yeah, it was kind of, I mean,
What I liked here, though, is he got really upright. He got into it flat.
Yeah, I got into it flat and then turned it right side up. But, you know, this is going to be a tough one for Javier because not only does Clinton get the use of course, as we look at it, nice 360 out of the Clinton's going to get the 360. Oh, there we go. Look at that extension. So I'm trying to say Clinton used the quarter pipe, which is going to give him a lot of variety and use of course, plus had the volt there, which difficulty, use of course, all those things are going to have to go Clinton's way. So I think it's a shoo-in that Clinton's going to get this, but look at that.
Yeah, and the fist pump.
Oh, and the fist. You know you have time when you're doing a body varial and pumping your fist. So great ride to both these guys, but I have a feeling that, I mean, I'm not a judge anymore, so I can't call it, but I have a feeling we're going to see Clinton Moore going on to the semifinals.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, I don't think Javier Villegas is going to be, obviously he's going to be a little disappointed that he's not moving on, but quite frankly, it's his first major back into competition. He's fit. He looks healthy. He's lost some weight. He's gotten stronger again.
It's been 10 months since he's had a major competition.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, he's just getting back into the groove now. So we'll see more of Javier Villegas for sure.
Absolutely. He looks great. He definitely looks really good out there. But it's so difficult if you're not pulling some of these new school tricks, when you're not doing a flare, when you're not doing a body varial, when you're not doing a California roll or a transfer backflip as Levi is. I mean, it's really tough to compete right now.
Well, variety definitely goes to Clinton Moore for the sheer number of tricks that he had in there that were different. Execution also belongs to Moore. He's got 2 so far, just needs a 3rd one. There it is. Style goes to Moore. So Moore will definitely be moving on to the semifinal, and that means he's going to be going up against Thomas Pages.
Oh. That's never what you want to hear.
No, but to be quite honest with you, Thomas Pages has, I mean, he just watched Clinton Moore do the run with a beautiful volt with the fist pump. So Clinton Moore just matched Thomas Pages tit for tat. He's also got a great flare. The difference here is Clinton Moore doesn't have the flare Superman, you know? So, but maybe he does, and we know that Clinton Moore can do the California roll. So he's got pretty much the same kind of bucket of tricks that Thomas Pages, so that could be a real showdown.
It can be, and Thomas has been known not to dial it every time. He said earlier his bike is not running the way he wants it to run here at this high altitude. So he's struggling sometimes with the way that he's hitting the ramps. He said has changed everything about the way he hits the ramps. He's not able to do his new trick, the alley-oop flare. He's not able to do the bike flip on this new light bike. He said it's absolutely impossible to do on this new bike. So it's going to get interesting as we see former tour champion Levi Sherwood
Yeah, he's going to be going up against Brody Wilson in this last quarterfinal heat. We'll figure out who of these two is going to be going on to go up against Danny Toros. There we see Brody Wilson getting ready and locked up after he's blown out his bike.
Hey, I'm Brody Wilson from the United States. I can't wait to hear the crowd shouting my name.
Brody.
He said the crowd, not you.
All right. Yeah, like I said, I like Brody Wilson. I think he's got a really good style. It's just a tough position for him to be in up against Levi Sherwood. And here we go. Brody Wilson starting his run.
Well, this is only his third appearance here at Red Bull X Fighters as he stretches out. The 450s are not lacking in power, as we can see there by that little slight over jump by Brody, but stretching it out, big KOD over the super kicker. He's got a hard job in front of him, but I don't think he's phased. He's just here to do his job. He's going to make it happen. We see him coming back here into the tunnel. I don't see him rushing as much as we'd probably like him to see him, so we can make sure to get as many jumps as he can.
Well, he's got 3 jumps in so far.
Yeah, but he's definitely going pretty slow compared to the guys that are at the top right now. Heel clicker to Superman, the combo off the super kicker though, big combo. That's such a difficult maneuver because you're at the front of the bike and then you're throwing yourself all the way to the back of the bike and then getting back on, hopefully, in order to keep on going.
You know what I've seen a couple of guys do is they're going from the Superman into the heel clicker, which is a much more difficult variation.
Nice holy grab to no-hander lander out of Brody, he is ticking down here. 11 seconds on the clock. One hand heart attack, and he better hustle. 6 seconds. He's going to make this one.
Yeah, he's got this one. If he can get into the tunnel, yeah, this one will count.
Yeah, so he's got a couple seconds here. Take a deep breath. Get the flip levers up. Take a deep breath, and this is going to be the last hit. What has he got? Something big. Cordova backflip. Great landing there, right up near the knuckle. He backed it off a little bit. Isn't over jumping as much as he was at the beginning. So a very solid run out of Brody.
7 jumps as well, by the way.
And wow, even though he wasn't hustling at all, he still got more jumps than anybody else, which is crazy.
Well, sometimes they say that slow is steady and steady is fast. So that could be, you know, what happened here. And again, it's about choosing your lines. You know,
it's all line choice.
You don't necessarily have to race around the course if you've chosen an efficient line set.
I love being able to break this down in slow motion so everyone can kind of see. It happens so fast, none of us can quite tell all the different nuances of what's going on, but look at that. Heel clicker into Superman, brings it around. And here, look at that. Holy grab, which is where you let go of the handlebars, you float back all the way to your grab handles, and then goes into the no-handed lander.
You know, I want to also congratulate our graphics team. I mean, they've done a great job with the new graphics setup. I really like it. I really like it.
It's looking good. 2015 Red Bull X Fighters. We're going to be here all year. You can't get rid of us, sorry.
Have the meatloaf.
All right. Levi Sherwood, the last rider we're going to see that we haven't seen so far here tonight. So can this former World Tour champion bring it this year like he did last year?
Let's see.
Levi Sherwood, New Zealand. Last year I won here, and it's the same plan for tonight.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go. He
Good
won.
plan. Why not?
He won last year. He won the second stop. Was looking good to win the third stop until a couple of small mistakes. He was going to win 3 in a row. So Levi was on fire last year, and he is looking great here tonight. The flaming mullet is what he's calling that. The Rodova backflip. Gotta love the naming of these tricks here.
No, you don't.
Hey, you know what? You got it. Gives us something to talk about up here. But Levi is looking good. Riding the 2-stroke.
And the flexibility of this guy as well. You know, he and a few of the other guys have just incredible flexibility.
Oh, hold on, Troy. Here it comes.
Oh, my God.
Which is the transfer backflip off of the quarter pipe. It's just, I don't understand
massive.
how that works. And the best part about that is it lines them up perfectly for the tunnel. And then a big
How twisted was that?
Indian air, almost can Indian air off the side, and then right into the turntable.
Sherwood just ahead by our Energy Live judging here. As you can see,
creeping up. It's creeping up real quickly here.
Sherwood's already at 5 jumps. This will be his 6th with 10 seconds to go, so he might be 1 jump short against Wilson with the upside knack. Oh, yeah.
Upside turn down knack. That's such a cool trick. Oh, and you know what? I think he left one on the table there, too.
He left one on the
He
table.
could have made that turn into the super kicker. I don't think he's going to need it with that transfer backflip, because that was absolutely...
The distance is incredible. The width of that quarter pipe that he took off of is 4 meters. Yeah, and the width of the quarter pipe beside it is 4 meters. There's a gap of about 1 meter in between.
He's got to be traveling 30 feet.
And he landed about halfway across the landing ramp. So if we're looking at
There
that.
it is.
Here, watch this again. There, he's traveling about from the halfway point, so that's 2, 6 plus 7, and another 5 or so meters. So he's doing about 15 to 16 meters of distance there on that transfer. That is incredible. And you know, a lot of people will say, and I was being a little bit critical about it. I was like, yeah, it's a backflip, big deal. But then after I looked at it a couple of times, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. He's doing a backflip transferring what we would say in skateboarding about 12 panels, you know?
Yeah,
it's a
absolutely
big jump.
Absolutely incredible by Levi. And then I love this. We talked about it last year. He started doing it last year, really kind of brought it out in Osaka, and it just, the upside turn down knack. so stylish. I don't think there's any
energy already going to Levi Sherwood.
There's no question here. Unfortunately for Brody, he rode great. He made it in out of the round number 1, but
yeah, 3
Levi.
helmets right away. Style, execution, and energy go to Levi. And let's see if he's going to get course as well. Use of course, and then variety. I don't think there's any question here. Yeah, Levi Sherwood. It's a full pull for Levi. He's going through eliminating Brody Wilson from competition tonight. So that means our semifinal is locked and loaded. Heat number 1 in semifinal action will feature Thomas Pages going up against Clinton Moore. Heat number 2 will feature Danny Torres against Levi Sherwood. Now that is a battle we've seen on a couple of occasions before. Semifinal action should get real interesting. Thomas and Clinton's heat especially, because both of them have a lot of the very similar tricks, and because we may, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a disadvantage right now for Thomas Pages, but you did, you know, say that he was having trouble with, you know, adjusting to the lightness of the bike.
He's having trouble with the weight of the bike, even though it really helps him in certain tricks like the 360 he said, and a couple others, but he can't do the bike flip. And the bike flip was such a massive debut last year that he brought out. It blew everybody's minds.
Quarterfinal round, you're moving on to the semifinals.
All right, so we're going to go down into the riders area and get some statements from a few of the riders.
I'm actually really happy with
Danny Torres, great run going on to the next round. How do you feel about your run, and what do you have planned for the next one?
First, I'm really happy, you know, to be in the semifinal in the next round. For me, it was really hard in the first round with Remy because he rode really good with big tricks. But finally, I think the crowd this time is with me, and I have to say thank you.
Tom, that was a great quarterfinal round. You're moving on to the semifinals. How do you feel about your run, and what do you plan to do moving forward?
I'm actually really happy with the run I just did. Been a while, that's like I was saying, no mistake, no crashes. It's great, so hope to do the same again for the rest of the night.
No, I had going out or pre-organised before this. I was just, you know, my mind was just only focused on this. I didn't care about anyone else's run. I just want to come back in here and do my thing, put a solid run down, and you know, it's always good to get that first one out of the way because you're always sort of like a bit sketchy about things. And now that first one's out, the nerves are away, and let's play the game.
Well, we heard from a few of the guys there, and one guy that's noticeably missing from this list of riders, we'll talk about it after it. We're going to go down and hear from Levi Sherwood first, who is with Ronnie Renner, our sideline reporter.
That qualifying run, how do you feel out there? And you're moving forward? You got anything more in the tank?
Yeah, I feel good. Good to finally get out there and warm up, but yeah, a little bit more. I saved a little bit for each round, so we'll see what tonight brings.
All right, thanks a lot, Levi. Good luck.
Thank you.
Wow, he didn't really give a lot there to our buddy Ronnie Renner. Save a bit more for each round. I'm not sure what else.
Keeping it close to the vest.
Very, very close. Man, I'm still in awe over the transfer backflip to egg roll. That just is, it's defying physics for me, Troy, to sit here live and see this. TV makes stuff look small and easy. To sit here live and see how big that gap is and how big that quarter pipe is just blowing my mind.
Yeah, it is an incredible looking trick in there. We saw the graphic showing our semifinal lineup. Thomas Pages going up against Clinton Moore. Danny Torres against Levi Sherwood. Our first semifinal heat coming up here, Thomas and Clinton.
Well, these guys have never met each other head to head.
Yeah, head to head. What I was saying just before we saw that interview with Levi Sherwood was one of the names that was on the list originally, but didn't make it into round number 1 today or into the quarterfinals was Matt Rabot, and an unfortunate accident by, you know, for him. He crashed really hard trying the body varial yesterday, and no, excuse me, it was the California roll. He got tangled on the bike and crashed really hard. He is okay, but because of the crash, he isn't able to ride today. So we get to see the rest of these guys throwing down. And as I was mentioning, semifinal number 1, Thomas Pages and Clinton Moore going up against each other. Two guys that I'm going to say, I don't want to say they're evenly matched, but because of the fact that Clinton does have the California roll, he does have the flair, and he does have the vault, he could very well take down a former World Tour champion here and move on to the final.
Well, and this is a new one too, probably for Tom. He's going to ride first, so Clinton's going to be able to watch him ride, so he's going to know how hard to push, because he's got a few things in his quiver of tricks that he may not have pulled or may have pulled, but now he knows exactly what he's going to have to do. Is the Bundy going to have to come out of the bag?
That's right.
A few of these other big moves he's got. So
This
here
also
comes Tom.
puts a lot of pressure on Tom.
Special flip.
It's good.
Landed
good.
perfectly. And as he gets back over here to the far side, and he is hauling out there. And this is the difference with some of these guys. But Tom is really, really going quickly right now. As he gets the vault, he's got it perfectly. And you see how fast he has to hit this ramp compared to normal freestyle, because of the air up here and how thin it is and how slow these two-stroke 250s are going. Even Tom's bike, which is so much lighter, so the horsepower to weight ratio is really up, he's still really struggling as he lines up here for the quarter pipe. What do we have?
That was a good one. That was beautiful.
Wow, and he actually kind of slid the front tire around, but it actually helped him out.
Yeah, it totally helped him
We
out.
couldn't quite see, but I don't think he dabbed a foot over there, as we couldn't quite see from here.
There
but
was no dab at all. I watched that. There was nothing. He was perfect. Wow.
Nice laid out 360.
Look at that 360.
And if you saw his in-run there, you see how far to the left side of the ramp he took off, so he could carve through that ramp and really get a lot of that 360 started for the takeoff of the ramp. And here comes Tom, 10 left on the clock. Kiss of death.
Is he going to take one more hit at it? He is.
Make it over. Yeah, he's got it. Wow. Tom is absolutely flying out there.
He wheelied into that tunnel.
Reminiscent of one of his idols, Travis Pastrana, the speed he's taking out there. And he lays out the huge stretched out flatliner.
Fantastic.
I love watching Tom ride.
Yeah.
He has a lot of fun out there.
That was a spectacular run.
Wow.
Quite frankly, my opinion is that that was definitely an improvement on his quarterfinal run. Definitely.
I agree.
And for everything, the improvement definitely showed in that flare.
Yeah, the flare, he didn't dab the foot again. He got an extra probably 20 degrees of rotation. And here's that special flip. Finding the bike, the right side of the bike with the left hand, and then grabbing back on.
No fist bump this time, though.
Yeah, no fist bump, absolutely.
He
and
kept
then
it
the
all
Volt,
business.
Yeah, the Volt comes around, gives a couple extra revs because he got sideways. This bike, I'm noticing, gets a little off axis a little easier because it's so light. He gets a little sideways, and then let's see. Here comes the flare, gets up, getting up into tsunami position, rotates that extra 20 degrees that he was missing last time, and then lays out a very nice flat spin 3. Lands a little rear wheel heavy, but hey, that was a 85-foot 360. You can't get too hard on him.
Should also mention, folks, that we're going to see a couple of extra hits on this now, because the semifinals and the finals are both 90-second runs in comparison to the quarterfinals, which were 75 seconds.
And look at that stretch out on the flatliner. I mean, he is just hanging on for dear life, and I love the way he stretches that out. And he is one happy, sick guy, because you know, he said you can tell he's still a little bit pale from the sickness over the last couple days. So to have a run like that is incredible when he's not feeling good. And he said he spent all day in bed yesterday up until the qualifier.
Well, Clinton Moore up next here, and tell you what, let's see if Clinton Moore can pull it together. Now, pay attention, folks. 90 seconds, as we mentioned just a couple of seconds ago. 90 seconds now instead of 75 seconds for semifinal and final action. Clinton Moore will have a chance here, and look, he's starting right away with a beautiful flare.
Yeah, he comes around. He really does his flares much like very 540, straight up and down style. Totally different style, just as good. I don't think one's better than the other, but different style than we see Tom doing. And then he comes in the Bundy.
The Bundy.
He knew he had to pull. He had to pull the Bundy out. Wow, Clinton Moore is not messing around. 360 off the super kicker. Clinton Moore is here. He's not going to bow down and take second place to Tom Pages. He's coming out here to put Tom back out of this semifinal. Clinton, straight stretched out, dead body backflip. His best finish is a 6th, and he's already bested that by just being here into the semifinals, but he is not done. He wants to make it to the finals.
Well, the worst he's going to do today is a 4th place.
This is absolutely what Clinton needed to do, is to get serious. Volt. Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect volt.
Beautiful.
Almost better maybe than Tom's volt. The bike, when Tom did his volt, got very crooked. We'll see it in the replay, but
he's still got 20 seconds left, too.
Yeah, he is absolutely on fire now. Love the way the Clinton's riding with so much confidence now, stretching out the backflip kiss of death. And remember, we didn't see any backflips or backflip combos out of Tom Pages. Rock solid out of Clinton.
That'll do it.
Wow.
So, I counted the hits here. Clinton and Thomas both have 7 hits in their runs. So that means the number of jumps isn't going to play a role. The only factor I can see here playing a role is the difference between their 2 flares. The difficulty of the flare of Thomas is just a little bit higher with that flare Superman, but that Bundy, wow,
the Bundy is huge. I mean, that's a whole nother level, I have to say. I think that's above the special flip in difficulty. I've never tried either, never will, but I have to say, I mean, my uninformed opinion is I think there it is, the Bundy. He starts off and gets into kind of rigor mortis position and then flips around, hangs on. Look at that, left hand is flipped around upside down on the bars. That's absolutely incredible. And then throws around. So the only differences I see, the 360 for Moore off the super kicker, the 360 for Pages off of the 75.
And the dead body flip is a big addition for him.
Dead body flip, absolutely great off the long ramp. The body varial, the volt there, very solid out of both guys.
Dude, I think we may see Clinton Moore.
Yeah, kiss of death backflip. So we saw 2 backflip, huge combos out of Clinton Moore. The rest of the tricks were all relatively similar. Rock solid out of Clint. We saw the huge flatliner out of Tom Pages, and I have to give the after run celebration
definitely
to Clinton Moore. 3 consecutive backspin. Lucky he didn't throw out his back there, but this is going to be tough for the judges.
I'll be really honest with you.
I feel it's going to Clinton Moore.
I think so too, because Clinton Moore has all those backflip combos in there, and that's the one thing.
Clinton Moore gets the first one, variety.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that Pages is missing is those backflip combos. Clinton Moore, he gets execution. Wow, this could be an upset.
Style of Tom, I agree right there.
Yeah, definitely. Force use. Clinton Moore gets it.
Wow!
Clinton Moore moves on to the final. Oh, fantastic. Clinton Moore moves on to the final.
Incredible run by Clinton Moore. Not only did he secure his place in the top 4, he is now guaranteed top 2, and I don't think he's going to be done there. And his style matchup against Levi is going to be a crazy nightmare for the judges.
Yeah, or Torres, because both of these guys.
Or Torres, but it's going to be tough for Torres to get past Sherwood, I feel. And Clinton Moore, absolutely. I mean,
gotta feel good for Clinton, because he's been looking good all weekend long. And I said it during the training. I said, hey, I think Clinton Moore has got some of the best style out there. We knew he had. You know, sitting down there, that he was my call for it.
Well, we're going to go check in with Jason Moriarty here and get a call on why Clinton just took that.
Hey, yeah, guys, really spectacular run there. Both very innovative riders, but tonight Clinton Moore definitely had more intensity in his run and a higher percentage of big banger tricks throughout his run. So a very tough call to make, but definitely, according to the definitions and the rules here, he's a clear winner.
You know what? I absolutely agree with Jason there, because that's the only knock against Tom Pages is he's lacking. He can do the backflips. He was backflipping before almost anyone in the sport. He was doing front flips. He had a massive crash in 2009 in Texas at the X Fighters event there. He actually didn't pull a backflip for almost 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
He's pulled a few since then.
But they've always been a little bit sketchy.
But they've been usually off of the super kicker, just making it happen. And I think that was the big decider here. Everyone has caught up to Tom's level of progression.
Yeah.
And as we get to see it here, Levi has beat Danny 5 to 3 times. 5 out of 8 times, Levi has taken their head-to-head battles.
Yeah, and you know, Levi, he's super solid. Danny's going to be the first guy to ride here tonight in this semifinal number 2. He's got a heavy task ahead of him to try and beat Levi Sherwood, who, like you mentioned earlier, just came in on fire.
Danny Torres starting off strong with the lazy boy backflip. He got about the same amount of extension we saw out of Adam Jones earlier on the lazy boy backflip, which was pretty solid. Running man, no-hander there. Off the side, just an old school trick. I mean, that's been around since Pastrana was riding 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. But
yeah, the old side
school,
show.
yeah, the old school trick there. And now Danny going new school. He was going for the rock solid backflip there. He didn't get it, but he still double grab backflip.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're gonna mess up and you're gonna only end up with a double grab backflip,
It might as well be something like that, right?
Not too bad there.
Big flatliner.
And Danny is
Danny's looking actually really good out there, but if he wants to be successful against Levi, he needs to bring something on that quarter pipe. He needs to bring it soon, and that was a mistake right there.
The first mistake out of 4 runs we've seen out of Danny over the weekend. He was going for the McMets 2 cliffhanger, but unfortunately he started a little late, didn't get time to get that cliffhanger on. And unfortunately for him, the judges know what he was going for, so that's going to count. Not quite as a dead sailor, but it's going to be a big black mark on his run.
And he didn't get the executioner flip, and he's clearly disappointed. He knows
right there. You see the disappointment on his face, in his body language.
The only way that he can get through this now is if Levi has a crash. The only way.
Well, and you know, let's go back through. He started off strong. Great extension there on the lazy boy backflip. Very solid 2-wheel landing. Things still going good here. Just kind of getting back to the other side of the track, getting the use, of course, with the super kicker. And then there, he just
did let it go.
He let it go, so you know, it's 1 up on a double grab flip, which is still a massive trick, Danny. It's just, I know everyone's going to know what he was looking for there, and you see the little head shake. And he goes for it, and he just can't let go on the cliffhanger. Right there, he knows. And here he's going for the executioner flip and just gets a half of a seat grab flip, and he knows right there. He just shakes his head and just, he knows. But, hey, the pressure's on Levi. To be able to put down the run, and sometimes when you know your opponent made a mistake in a head-to-head battle, it's actually worse for you, because you think, okay, I just got to play it safe. I just can't make a mistake. Whereas if you had to go full out, you have to go 100%. You're not thinking about that, but mental game is one of the biggest things. It is the biggest thing in any sport, but especially freestyle motocross. You have to be tight. Your game has to be tight, and hopefully for Levi, he's not thinking about just doing halfway. He's thinking about doing it 100%.
There's no way that Levi is going to halfway in this one. He knows that he's got to pull everything together. He knows he's got to stay on his wheels, but he also knows that Danny made a few mistakes in that run, so that he doesn't have to go super crazy and risk something in the final.
Well, starting off, flaming mullet out of Levi, backflip Rodova. Taking a little more easy than we saw him in the quarterfinals, but coming back at us here. Double grab backflip, absolute perfection. Lands perfectly right at the knuckle. Both wheels touch down at the same time, and here he comes around for the backflip transfer. Just once again, wow, it looks too easy. That, folks, is arguably the biggest, definitely the newest, but probably the biggest trick that we may have ever seen here.
Yeah, but if you consider, too, that he is flying on that trick.
Yeah, he is crossing alley-ooping so far. He looks so good. And And there's the turntable out of Levi. He is looking very, very solid. He's not pulling any punches here. He's doing his run. He's not thinking about, hey, I don't have to do 100%. He's just going for it.
He's not thinking at all. He's on muscle memory and automatic pilot right now, guaranteed.
Big upside turn down knack. And I mean, he's getting so far past 90 degrees on that. He's really even pushed that trick, which is a right side up trick. He's pushing way past where he was last year.
And this, by the way, was his last trick in the quarterfinal round. So he'll have a time for one last trick here.
There you
go, Shaolin flip.
Hey, we call it a starfish, thanks to Dan Pastor.
Okay, getting the butt right on the fender.
Right down to the fender there. He was almost there, but we're going with starfish.
I'm going to take the Christian route on that one then.
Levi Sherwood backing it up. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to go 5 for 5 in helmets, moving on to the finals. I mean, he won in Mexico City last year. He knows what it feels like. He understands these bull rings as well as Danny Torres. So let's take a look back at some of the action here. Flaming mullet. There we go.
The double grab flip.
And not just a double grab flip. He was up into half attack position, and here is the egg roll.
Look how high up he gets, though. Look how high up he gets.
TV does no justice to this trick, Troy. I mean, look at that. That ramp is 12 feet tall, and he is twice as high as it right there, and just lands perfectly, so smoothly. And I love that Indian air backflip, but the bike is whipped one way, his body's whipped the other way. And that's the turntable, both legs, saran wrapping off to the other side. And look, almost, I'd say it's 150 degrees around. And there's your favorite.
All right, there you go. I'll give you starfish on that one.
Yeah, just
But that
Levi,
transfer, I mean, you know, like I said earlier on, I gave him a bit of a hard time about that transfer flip. But after watching it a few times, and I went down close to the ramp where he was practicing the other day. I mean, Jesus,
that thing is 12.
Huge.
That ramp is 12 feet tall. The landing is 14 or 15 feet, maybe 15 feet high.
And that ramp goes to vert. I mean, skateboarders would be scared of that ramp.
I'm scared of that, and I'm sitting up here right now, Troy.
All right, there you go. Sherwood, he gets the first helmet for energy. Let's see, execution. Yeah, there you go. Second helmet. I think you might be right with the full pull, 5 against nothing here. We'll see style. Wow. 3 helmets. There you go. Wow. Sherwood's making a final. Yet another final for Levi Sherwood. So we'll see him going up against Clinton Moore as he gets the use of course and the variety helmet. So that is a 5-0 drubbing of Danny Torres. So good job by Levi Sherwood to keep it together and have a good run in the semifinal. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be moving on to the finals with Clinton Moore and Levi Sherwood. That will be very interesting. Clinton Moore definitely fired up after a spectacular semifinal run where he included the vault. He included the Bundy. He included the flare. He included flip combos par excellence. Yeah. I mean, his run was championship material. If he can bring that again against Levi Sherwood, we may have a very, very difficult judging decision, and I'll be happy as anything to see Clinton Moore succeed against Levi Sherwood. Nothing against Levi. Love the kid. I think he's a fantastic rider, but I think Clinton Moore is very deserving of a win here if he can keep it together.
Well, this is going to be so tough on the judges because it's going to come down, I feel, to a battle of a style.
Yeah, and two different styles.
Which is going to be tough, two completely different styles, and we saw Clinton Moore lose style against Tom Pages.
Yes,
and
but
Levi
he did take out Thomas Pages.
And he took him out, but he lost style, so this is going to be very difficult. We're going to go down to talk to Tom Pages here and hear about what he feels about that run.
Tom Pages, that was an amazing semifinal battle right there. Yourself, Clinton Moore going head-to-head, very similar styles. What's your take on the outcome?
But it's insane. Like we had to be like together in South Africa. You know, we both crashed on the flare, and fortunately today we were against each other, not in the final but semi-final. And I've been riding, I think tonight, against the best. I hope that goes better for him after. And but yeah, for me, it was the final before the final.
Does that make you feel a little better if Clinton goes on to take the win?
Yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, maybe, because so I would think like, it was just the best today.
Well, we're here in Mexico City where the altitude's very high, the air's very thin. Does that play effect to your setup?
Obviously, like, he has been changing everything. I've been working for months now on new stuff. And he was ready for here, and I planned to do it here. So all my riding level beside went really down. That's why I'm struggling to do all my tricks, and I was not able to do it tonight. And but otherwise, I would have been, I think, better.
And I have to ask, how motivated are you going to the next stop in Greece?
I'm so motivated to go to Greece because I have more tricks coming. Obviously, the 540, the alley 540 will be ready for there. More tricks, and if everything goes well over there, I'll be really stressed because it's going to be really scary.
Well, myself, as well as the rest of the world, cannot wait to see what you got. Best of luck training and preparing.
Thank you very much. See you there.
Well, there you see the two guys he was just talking about in that quarterfinal or that semifinal, Thomas against Clinton. Clinton was the better man today. Tricky question from Ronnie Renner, our sideline reporter, though, when he says, will you feel better if Clinton wins today? And he's like, and I know it was going through his head, no, I won't feel better because I wanted to win the thing. But I get where Ronnie was going with the question, because then if Clinton wins tonight, he knows that, you know, a guy was better on the night than him, went on, and it doesn't feel quite so painful. Look at this crowd here. Yeah.
Everybody is partying. Everyone's having a good time. Wow.
And we're going to go down and hear from Danny Torres, who just got eliminated, and how he's feeling.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with Danny Torres, who just finished up with a very heavy run against another champion. You're a champion. There's all kinds of champions here. How do you feel about that run?
Yeah, with my run, I'm not really happy with my run because I had a big mistake in my run. But yeah, I'm really happy with me because I know that with Levi Sherwood, you know, it's too difficult to beat him because he's really good right now. I think now he's the best rider in the world. But yeah, I have found my run with me and with the crowd.
And I can't help but ask, how motivated are you now that this one's out of the way and you can go back to training and go to Greece strong?
Yeah, for me right now, when I leave to my home, I would like to practice really hard in the quarter pipe and in the other different tricks for the next season.
And I have to ask, what's your take on this final matchup right here? Clinton Moore with his first ever final, going against Levi Sherwood, who you already said is on fire right now.
Yeah, it's too difficult to say who win the final, you know, because Levi Sherwood is really strong and Clinton Moore too, you know. We can see the different big tricks, and I don't know, just I want to say have fun for both and good luck for both.
There you go. Thanks a lot on that. I'm sure those guys appreciate it. Good job.
Thank you.
Well, Danny Torres just echoing what we were talking about up here about how we got two different trick styles, two different riding styles, and two different trick lists, you know. At this point, I'm going to say the advantage goes to Moore if he can keep everything together like he did before in his semifinal run against Thomas Pages. And let's take a look at the final facts. Again, head-to-head, again, 90 seconds, and you know, you got to win 3 of those 5 judged categories. And by the way, the winner here tonight will get 100 points on the World Tour standings and will be our first leader of the Red Bull X Fighters World Tour 2015.
And have a nice 20-point lead on second place. So that's great, moving in to the second round in Athens, Greece. And we're going to see Clinton Moore versus Levi Sherwood. This is going to be an incredible matchup because these guys are absolutely completely different as riders.
Yeah, and there have been, I mean, you can see here Clinton Moore, this is his first final ever on a Red Bull X Fighters, and he is
so excited.
He's
you know what?
Ready.
I just got a text from Jolene Van Butte from the Nitro Circus Tour. They're over in Tokyo, Japan. The whole crew, Josh Sheehan, last year's champion, they're all watching. She just sent a text and a picture. They're all crowded around a computer watching this. Josh Sheehan is checking out his competition right now. The whole crew checking it out and gonna watch Clinton Moore, one of their guys, versus Levi Sherwood, another one of their guys. Yeah. Such a stylistic matchup here. We're gonna see the egg roll versus the Bundy. Basically is what this is gonna come down to. But remember, Clinton's got the Bundy and the Volt.
was just mentioning, you were just mentioning Josh Sheehan. He is our reigning World Tour champion. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here because of contractual conflicts, but he did say that he would be coming to the other 4 events. So that'll be really exciting to have him back on tour because he's one of those class acts who just brings the level up another notch. So it'll be really fun to have him back. But in the meantime, folks, we are getting ready for an epic final here. And regardless of whether it was Thomas Pages coming into this final or Clinton Moore coming into this final against Levi Sherwood, it is going to be spectacular. First rider out will be Clinton Moore.
All or nothing, stay on 2 wheels.
Yes, that is what he has to do. But you know what? Clinton is just riding so great these days. He's so mature and confident on the motorcycle right now. There's none of the frenzy that we saw a couple years ago back when
that's the thing, hey?
He's just
a little
so
bit of
confident.
experience makes a big deal. Clinton Moore heading straight for the quarter pipe right off the bat. Let's see if he apps. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there
Another
we go.
clean one.
Nice.
And he lines it up going to the outside. So he starts off this final run super solid with a beautiful the first one. Fantastic, Bundy. Did you see that? That was incredible.
That was as close as it comes.
On a 360, a beautiful run so far from Clinton Moore. 3 jumps in, and we're freaking out up here in the booth already.
That was as close to disaster / awesome as you could get. I think he was even scared because his 360 really was more of just like a slight off-axis backflip.
The dead body flip. Jeez.
Right back to it, gets that extension on the dead body flip, comes around, he is hustling. He knows he's on the verge of not only his highest finish ever, he's already
first
there.
X-Fighters
He
World
could
Tour
win this thing.
Yeah, definitely. The Volt. Get on it, boy. Get on it. Yes!
And you know what? He's got
fantastic Volt.
He's got 3 new school tricks versus the transfer backflip of Levi. This is going to be absolutely impossible for the judges.
Yeah.
12 seconds on the clock. We're going to see 2 more. Backflip KOD. Perfect. Clinton's got 1 more. Come on, buddy. Puts the flip levers down. He's got just the rock solid to finish
beautiful.
things off.
Wow.
Perfection.
That was a beautiful run from Clinton Moore. A beautiful run. I mean, if we look at all those tricks that happened in there, he had 4, we'll call them old school tricks, but yeah, I mean, just fantastic flip combos, the rock solid to finish things off, and he had 3 new school tricks. He had the flare right out of the gate. He had the Bundy, which was insane, the way he stretched that out. And then, of course, the Volt. And quite frankly, I didn't think he was going to get back on board for that Volt. I thought he was going to go down.
All right, let's check it out. Okay, he goes into the flare, which just such a different style than everybody else. I love it. And here we go. Look at this. And he gets so high. So far off the motorcycle.
But also, he's so high up in the air that he's got tons of time for the landing.
And you know what? The 360 was still a 360. It wasn't as good as his earlier one, but it still looked good. And then perfection, stretches out the dead body backflip, lands perfectly, both wheels at the same time. And then, oh yeah, hey, let's throw in a body varial. The Volt punctuates it with a perfect KOD backflip, finishes off with the rock solid, and he is throwing the gauntlet down to Levi Sherwood. This is so difficult for the judges because what are they going to score him for? Variety has to go to Clinton Moore. Use of course is going to be pretty much even.
That was an insane run. I mean, I got my hair is standing on end. I've got goosebumps just after watching that run, thinking about what Levi is going to have to do in this run in order to be successful. Next rider up, Levi Sherwood.
Let's do this.
Let's do this, yeah. Exactly. You know what I love about Levi is he is probably the most focused of all the riders out there. He visualizes his run over and over and over again.
Yeah.
He doesn't let anything bother him. We don't see him get flustered very often. And here we go. Starting off, same flaming mullet. The backflip Rodova.
And you know what I really like about Levi Sherwood? He's got that dry sense of humor, you know, that Kiwi sense of humor. It just sort of hits you sideways, and then before you know it, you're laughing after you think about what he said. Double grab flip. Oh, Beautiful.
Perfection.
This is going to be so hard for these judges.
Let's pay attention. Backflip trick against backflip trick. And here he comes around. The transfer. Backflip.
One hand. Backflip.
Wow.
Transfer one hand. The huge one off that giant quarter pipe.
He steps it up, and that's what the judges like to see. They like to see progression round and round, and Levi just brought that. And really, really getting off on that Indian air.
And he whipped it out, too.
He whips it out. His feet are going one way, the back end of the bike is going another way. And there, turntable, getting back to the other side of the course. We've got 32 seconds still on the clock.
He's going to get an extra jump or two in here, I think.
Yeah,
that may be the difference maker.
Man, this is going to be tough.
Oh, boy. I am so happy to be up here with you, Andy Bell, because I would probably be going nuts in the judges' booth right now.
Upside neck, just stretching out the execution time after time and hammering into the corner. Looks like he's racing in Australia or a national back home, as they say about the Kiwi. And
There's the starfish.
Backflip, and I think he got more extension. Hey, more extension this time. He got right down to that front fender.
He gets right in the crowd's faces as well.
Wow.
Plays it up, gets rid of the goggles. That was a great run from Levi Sherwood. Boy,
what are they going to do?
It's like, hey, here's my $50 worth. Have fun with it, guys.
You know, it's so tough. Let's break this down, see if we see any struggles within.
Perfect extension.
I feel like he got better extension this run than he did the time before, and he did the time before. And he kind of almost did executioner into double grab flip. It was like halfway there. Yeah, combo
I was going to say he was laddering in, but I don't think that's what he wanted to. And then that flip transfer, one hand.
It's
just massive.
Just steps it up. Here's the other angle of it. He's 30 feet high, transferring 30 feet to the side, and pulls a one-hander.
And look how he tweaks that bike out. That's like an indie flip whip.
Yeah,
absolutely. There's no other way to really describe that. What he's doing with the bike, he's twisting it off to one side as he's throwing a body the other, and then your favorite there, the upside neck.
I love that. That's one of my favorite tricks that he does. I have to say, I love it. Take an old school, make it a new school. Look at that. He not only touched the fender, he bent the fender there as he went through for the starfish backflip.
Yeah, I think, quite frankly, between these two guys, I think it's going to come down to these judges watching exactly how they executed each and every trick, because it was so balanced between the two of them, and you have conflicting styles that were still so balanced. It's so difficult between these two guys.
It is so difficult, and that's the crazy thing with this judging format. I think if we had a judging format like they do at other events, I would have to go Clinton Moore. But it's a difficult thing with 5 different categories and 5 different judges looking at 5 different things.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the only fair way to do it, quite frankly, because of the way these guys are riding. I mean, you've got different styles, different attacks, different tricks.
And look at Clinton is still breathing hard. Yeah. He's been off the bike for 5 minutes. We're at 7,500 feet, remember. This is way higher than Denver, Colorado.
And these are fit guys as well.
And these are fit guys. I'm tired just sitting up here talking, so I can't imagine throwing down for 90 seconds like that. As we wait, the judges, I know, are having a huge, difficult time.
Well, you know there's discussion going on up there.
Absolutely. There has to be. That was one of the most epic showdowns, if not the most epic showdown we've ever had in 14 years of doing this. And
I mean, it was an outstanding performance from Clinton Moore. You know, he came in there, he got it down. He really put I mean, for lack of a better way to describe it, he put the pedal to the metal, threw that gauntlet down for Levi Sherwood, and Levi Sherwood picked it up, put it on, and cranked that lever with it.
I think it's going to come down to the 3 new school tricks versus the 1 new school trick.
Right.
I think, and whichever way the judges view that, you know, I think Levi was a little better at the regular tricks, but 3-2.
Clinton Moore gets variety right out of the gate.
Yeah, he has to get that one. He has to get
with
that
the 3
one.
new school tricks. You're absolutely right.
Execute, and I agree with that 100%.
There you go, and you made that call beforehand.
Style, this is tough, but Levi probably,
Levi Sherwood takes the style home. It's close. Clinton Moore looking a bit nervous.
I don't know which way this one goes.
Clinton Moore gets hoarse.
The final is going down to the last
It's going to be about energy.
And they're going to go slow. What did they go?
Let's see. Clinton Moore
wins his first
Clinton
Red Bull
Moore,
X-Fighters.
the first win for
We're
Clinton Moore.
high-fiving up here in the booth. Absolutely incredible,
Wow.
Clinton. Congratulations.
Clinton Moore, a huge congratulations to Clinton Moore winning his first ever Red Bull X-Fighters Tour stop. I mean, I don't think it's going to hit him until tomorrow morning when he wakes up and goes, whoa, I just won Mexico, and then he'll start celebrating. You know he's going to have a couple of drinks with the boys tonight and have a good time, but what a monumental win for Clinton Moore. We're going to go down. Ronnie Renner, our sideline reporter, is standing with Clinton Moore, the champion here in Mexico. Let's hear from Clinton right now.
Congratulations, Clinton Moore, on your first ever Red Bull X-Fighters win. What did you think when you woke up this morning?
When I woke up this morning, I thought to myself, you know, last year was a bad start. This year, I'm just happy with top 5, more than over the moon to be a top 3. And here I am, number 1. Words cannot describe how great it feels.
It does feel good. You're number 1 at the first stop of a 5-stop tour, okay? Now you have a championship to think about. What do you think about that?
Right now, I'm thinking the party. Apart from that, I'm thinking I got to get home and start training to defend this title.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thinking about the party. Good job.
I love that. I love to hear that, Clinton. He is so well-deserved, and the strides that Clinton Moore's riding have taken over the last 2 years, absolutely incredible. I'm so excited for him. Levi rode amazing.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Amazing.
Levi had a good run.
Take a quick look here at the top 5. Clinton, Levi Sherwood, Tom Pages, Danny, Remy, Adam Jones rounding out the top 6. Just, I'm blown away at the level we just saw brought this year, 2015, over last year.
Well, we were talking about it earlier, you know, the cringe factor that we had watching the warm-ups and the training, because we've been away from it for, you know, for nearly 6-7 months, and coming back and watching these guys up the ante so big time. I mean, that is a big deal for these gentlemen, and a big congratulations goes out to Clinton Moore. In the meantime, we'll hand out the awards. Third place goes to the Frenchman, Thomas Pages. He's going to get some points here, no doubt about it.
Much better than his start last year.
Yeah, and he's going to come out of this one with those points and with the knowledge that he's got to get that lighter bike working for him in the next 2 months before Athens, Greece. And there you see Levi Sherwood, not very accustomed to holding up a trophy in second place, but he's going to come back on all cylinders firing as we head towards our next event and tonight's winner here in Mexico City, Mexico, and a very well-deserved winner, taking out 2 former World Tour champions and heading himself in a direction of possibly taking a World Tour championship. Clinton Moore from Australia. Congratulations to all those guys on our podium tonight. Fantastic job.
I love to see it, and you know what? Tom is a guy that is genuinely happy to see progression in this sport. He pushes progression, not only his own, but he's happy when other people are pushing it. Josh Sheehan and Clinton Moore. These guys are leading the charge on the new school tricks, and we just saw the new school tricks actually come out on top, and these guys are just, the level is absolutely incredible here this year. Got a little champagne shower for the boys.
We did say the variety was the tipping point for Clinton Moore there, and it was such a great final. I mean, the excitement here, the energy here, the vibe of the crowd, just everything came together, and it doesn't get much better than this for the opening of this World Tour. And I'll tell you what, we'll see you guys on June 12th in Athens, Greece. Everybody, thanks for watching. I'm Troy Mannering saying ciao for Andy Bell from Mexico City, Mexico. See you in Athens. Take care.
what you shouting.